Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the American political landscape is still feeling the aftershocks of an explosive telephone interview with former President Donald Trump, which aired on this channel this morning. If you didn't see it, here's a bit of what you missed.
The moon people are coming. They will be here very soon, and Kamala Harris invited them. And when they get here to this planet, which is our beautiful planet Earth that we all love so much, it's going to be very bad news, I'm telling you.
President Trump, if I can just interject with a question quickly.
Very quickly. We're running out of time because they're on the way.
How are the moon people going to travel from the moon to the Earth? And if they are in fact on their way right now, how is it they haven't been detected by astronomers?
Because they're flying here on the moon. It's very incorrect what you just said. Very wrong. They aren't flying from the moon to the Earth. They are on the moon, flying it to the Earth. They've got rockets on the back of the moon. And these rockets, they are big, very big. And nobody can see them because they're on the far side of the moon where it's always dark. And nobody's ever seen anything on that side of the moon. We don't know what else might be there, but I'll tell you this. Whatever it is, it's not going to be pretty.
Wouldn't the moon be growing steadily larger in the sky as it approached?
They're coming. The moon people... They're coming to steal the sun. And when they steal the sun, they're going to give it to China, so that only China will have the daylight. And here in our beautiful country of America, we'll have night. It'll be nighttime all the time. That's what they'll call it. I came up with that, but that's what everyone will be calling it. Only I hope not, because we still have time to stop it. But if not, we'll have nighttime all the time, and Kamala Harris and Sleepy Joe will say, that's just fine with us. We like it that way, because at night, when nobody can see, it'll be easier for us to get away with all the things we'll be doing, and you know what I'm talking about.
Here with me now to discuss this stunning message from President Trump is our chief political correspondent, who is reporting to us live from Mar-a-Lago, where President Trump is said to currently be in a meeting with some of his senior advisors to discuss this situation. What is the latest from the Trump campaign on this imminent moon people invasion? The latest from the Trump campaign is quite simple and chillingly stark. If something is not done to stop the invasion of the moon people, the effect could be, quote, earth-shattering. Literally. Has there been any response from the Harris campaign, or indeed from the Biden administration? I reached out to both the Harris campaign and the White House and received a no comment from each. I reached spokespeople for Harris and Biden on the phone earlier, and I'm fairly certain the Biden spokesperson was suppressing a laugh as she told me that President Biden had no comment. Unbelievable. And if what President Trump told you during the interview is true, grossly irresponsible on the part of both President Biden and Vice President Harris. Regardless of how their spokespeople may feel about it, President Trump's staff has assured me that as far as President Trump is concerned, there's nothing funny about the invasion of the moon people. Certainly not. The former president had plenty to say about that potential invasion when I spoke to him earlier today. Here's a bit more of what he had to say on the subject of what we can do to fend off these moon people.
It's a terrible thing to have to say, but we have to get rid of them. We have to send them back to Mars. Let Mars deal with them instead of us. It shouldn't be our problem.
So the moon people are originally from Mars?
They came from Mars many, many years ago. They've been living on the moon, and as you know, life on the moon is very tough, very rough, and it's given these moon people a very bad attitude. There's no talking to them. There's no negotiating with them. They're all very mean, very nasty people, these moon people. And the only thing they respect are strong leaders, strong presidents. That's why they're afraid of me. They know they can't get away with it with me the way they can with Kamala or with Sleepy Joe.
Mr. President, forgive me, but do we have the technological capability to carry out an operation like the one you seem to be describing? Flying to the moon, locating and arresting these moon people, and returning them to Mars via some sort of interplanetary deportation program?
We used to have the Space Force. I started that, as you know. And under President Sleepy Joe and Comrade Kamala Harris, who is a Marxist, just like her father, and probably a Martian, too. First she was Indian, then she was black. Next thing, she'll be a Martian, telling us all to just roll over and let the Martians invade our planet. That'll be the next thing. But under their administration, they've destroyed the Space Force, so that now it's just an embarrassment. They fired everybody who worked there and gave their jobs to Haitians. Can you believe it? But we can build it back up very quickly. We can expand it, as I would like to do, by introducing something I call the Space Border Patrol. And once we've got that done, we can clean up these moon people, which are actually Martians if you think about it, and send them back to Mars where they belong, where Biden never should have let them leave in the first place. And we can do that very soon and very easily when I'm president.
I pressed President Trump for further details on the timeline of the Moon People invasion, but he was not forthcoming. Have you been able to learn anything more specific about when we should expect the Moon People to approach Earth and somehow block out the sun for everyone but the Chinese? Speaking to an anonymous source within the campaign, I learned that apparently the estimated arrival time of the Moon People is noon Eastern Time, January 20, 2025. The exact moment when the next president of the United States is scheduled to take office. Coincidentally, yes, though President Trump's people assure me that he has a plan to stop the Moon People before they reach Earth on Inauguration Day, but it will only work if he wins the election. Anything more on what that plan might be? President Trump's staff are saying the plan is, quote, incredible and should be ready to be released to the public, quote, very soon. In the meantime, President Trump is deeply involved in a conference with his senior science advisor, actor Dennis Quaid, who not only portrayed President Ronald Reagan in a movie this year, but who also has significant experience fighting hostile aliens from his time as a soldier of the Bilateral Terran Alliance in the 1985 film Enemy Mine. Sounds promising and hopefully reassuring to all our viewers. I'm seeing now that President Trump has apparently, as of just a minute ago or thereabouts, made a new post to his Truth Social website that references the Moon People invasion. Do we have the graphic? Let's put that up. President Trump writes, quote, the invaders from outer space are on their way, flying our own moon to Earth to steal our American sunshine and give it to communist China. Comrade Kamala and sleepy Shanghai Joe have sold us out, and if they will not fight to protect our planet, then your favorite president, parenthetical, me, will. We will make America great again, so great that the rest of the world will have no choice but to become great as well, and then you will no longer have to fear aliens flooding into our atmosphere and poisoning the air and robbing the sun from our people. It must never happen again. I will protect the Earth. A strong, confident statement from the former, and many people hope, future President of the United States. President Trump can save us. President Trump will save us. That's a positive attitude. Coming up next, if you missed my interview with President Trump this morning, you will not believe what else he had to say. In our next segment, we'll hear his thoughts on Francis Ford Coppola's polarizing new film, Megalopolis. Here's a quick preview, and we'll be right back after the break.
The technology they use to make these movies now is unbelievable. People in the theater can talk to the people on the screen, and the people on the screen can talk back. I saw that, and I turned to Laura Loomer, who was sitting next to me, and I said, can you believe that? And she said, no, Mr. President, sir, I can't believe it. I yelled something at Adam Driver on the screen a minute later, but he ignored me, acted like he didn't even hear me, which I knew he could. So disrespectful. I get the worst treatment from Hollywood.